I would say the question that I had most going in was, is there really a purpose for why I'm here? I spent a lot of time in corporate life and traveling and just working endless hours, and I always felt like there's got to be something else.
I'm a Catholic, and I go to Mass pretty much every Sunday, and I'm bringing my children up Catholic, and I just felt like there was something, I needed something deeper.
I was intrigued by the idea of having Jesus in everyday life, as in, and like instead of just being inside a book.
I had a lot of questions about the basics of Christianity, and I was in Bible study, but I just wanted more information.
I'd taken some Sunday school classes growing up, but not a great deal, and was getting more active in the church because of my children and actually teaching their Sunday school classes. So I found that this was an excellent opportunity to take it and really start to understand a little bit more than what I might have understood before. I remember when I first signed up and thinking more about the Trinity and what exactly is the Trinity and what's that all about, and thought maybe this would be a way to better understand that.
One of the fascinating things we learned when we started putting on the Alpha course was that it was of value to people who had been coming to church all their lives and people who were just starting to come to church.
So in a typical Alpha evening, we start out with fellowship and then get right into dinner. And as I said before, wonderful dinners, tremendous food that really gets everybody talking at tables and feeling comfortable and really relaxed and ready, energized and ready to go.
My typical night was a ridiculous commute as usual, and arriving here to a very sane environment with a lot of wonderful people happy to see you, and sitting down peacefully to a great meal.
It was very open, and it was very, let's get to know people around the table, and there was people from all different thoughts and different ages, which was exciting as well.
And then from that, you moved into some singing, which I got to admit at first was a little uncomfortable, but after a while, you start to look forward to it. And I think if they cut the music out toward the end of the course, there'd be a revolt.
I just found after a long day at work, having a nice meal and the songs just were so centering and so relaxing.
Pretty much showed up, Kathleen talked a little bit, told a joke.
The jokes? No.
Without fail, I always laughed. It was a nice icebreaker for setting the tone for the evening, to just reinforce the fact that we're here to have a good time, that this is not work, this is actually play, and it was a great way to play at exploring our faith.
And then from there, we would go into a video presentation, which was about 40 minutes long, and that was led by Nikki Gumbel.
Nikki really works hard in this whole series of videos to kind of start you from ground zero, to start you at sort of the grassroots of is there really a God, and is Jesus Christ real, and does it really matter? Is it relevant to us in our everyday life?
There were so many different topics covered, but it was never forceful. It was always interesting, but very open to your consideration. No one was trying to force a message on you, just discuss some what I felt were very relevant topics, and they became even more relevant as the videos progressed.
And then after that, there's time for discussion, and you'll typically have 2 or 3 group leaders in with your group, and they will just help lead a discussion.
Everyone respected everybody's opinions and rights to air their opinions, because everybody was at different stages and different ponderings and came in with some different preconceived notions and also had different questions. And I thought it was wonderful that in such a short time, meeting once a week, we could develop the kind of trust as a group to feel free to air any question.
You know, you'd see everybody nodding, and you kind of knew that, yeah, other people were feeling the same way or asking or searching the same thing as you were.
Everything is optional, which is great. I mean, no matter what level you come in on as far as your faith level, I would have to say most people would feel very comfortable. You don't have to do anything, don't have to sing, don't have to eat everything.
It's hugely a no pressure class. You come as you can, you come as much or as little as you want, and nobody is there to check on you, make sure you come back.
So one thing I think that you have the ability to learn in Alpha is the power of prayer. I think that's one thing that I really didn't have a good feeling for, understanding, or appreciation for, is the power of prayer.
We've come to see that for some people, grown-up men and women, they may never have had an opportunity to be prayed for at some length, out loud, by another person, in confidentiality. And that is a very powerful experience, whether you're on the receiving end or whether you're on the praying end.
And then I know that I have people I could reach out to if I needed somebody to pray with me. I would feel comfortable asking now for somebody to pray with me. I never would have. I'm not too sure I could pray with somebody out loud. I could pray with them silently. But for me, myself, I was surprised at how much I got out of that myself.
I began to feel much more comfortable praying during Alpha, and prayer has become a significant part of my life, my daily life.
The weekend away, which is an opportunity in every Alpha program, to go away for a weekend. You were gone on a Friday evening, and then all day Saturday, Saturday night, and then returned on Sunday afternoon. That was the format that I participated with. And that was much more rewarding than I perhaps might have thought going into it.
A single evening, maybe in total is a couple of hours long. You sink into it pretty far, but the weekend is 10 times that, because it really does take you out of your common elements, and everyone knows what that's like. It's, you know, go on vacation, I mean, get rid of the job, get rid of the humdrum every day. But to live it for a day and a half, with people by that time you know extremely well, and to be able to share this and just really let it sink in.
Especially because the weekend focused around the Holy Spirit topic, which, you know, incorporated a lot of prayer and time for prayer. I felt it was so paramount to spend that time to get away, especially I think having a busy family, and, you know, just the time was so well worth it.
You can have a deep, deep experience. You can actually feel the Holy Spirit in that room, and I never felt that before. So I'd say that is the biggest surprise, other than that there's actually some talent in the variety show.
Laughter and seriousness at the same time is rare to come by in this world, and I really found that on the weekend.
Alpha Variety Show!
It was just a really good opportunity just to unwind and to relax and to laugh at myself, and to just feel at ease with everyone else who was on that weekend away.
I guess that my expectation coming in was that I had been a Christian for 40 years. I wasn't really knowledgeable, but I thought I was comfortable with my knowledge, and through the 10 weeks of Alpha, I found out how much I didn't know.
I had the basic Christian foundation, but it was the type of foundation where you were expected to just believe what was told you. And if you had questions, it wasn't good to have questions. You just believe. So all those questions sort of piled up over the years, and Alpha was the opportunity for me to actually put those questions out there, and it just was a great affirmation of my faith to be able to get answers and to be able to explore my doubts.
I think one of the best parts was meeting the new people and seeing that everybody really is on a different level in their faith journey, but that doesn't really matter because there's a level of confidentiality, so you can express your concerns or your questions in an environment where it is safe. And it's amazing that you just met these people, but you have this connection through Alpha and through your faith.
For people I had known for such a short amount of time, that if I walked out that door and a disaster or a tragedy happened in my life, I just felt like there was actually just happened to be 4 of us in our group there, that there was 3 people who I'd want to see on my doorstep.
We got to know each other over the course of time and become friendly with folks. And at the end of the 10 weeks, I didn't want it to end.
At the end of Alpha, what I took away was the beginning of a very deep and personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
I did feel as if by taking Alpha, I went from, the daily walk that you go, that you're on, that I basically, in that 10 weeks, got on an express train and skipped a bunch of stops and got, years ahead of where I would have been if I hadn't taken Alpha.
For me, God was never exactly present in my life. Like, there was always an idea of some mythical guy chilling up in the clouds, but it never really dawned on me that I would realize his presence at all. And so going to Alpha, that idea was reintroduced along with a lot of other things. And that really, it dawned on me that you could really have a personal connection with Jesus and God through simply attempting to, and opening yourself up to it. And so Alpha was just an awesome way to do that.
It felt like such a small investment of time for the amount I grew, and that I had more awareness of the areas I needed, to focus more in on with my relationship with God, and I had more awareness and appreciation of the Holy Spirit in a way it had never been presented to me in a way that made sense. Everything about it made sense, and it helped me to deepen my feeling of connectedness, and it was wonderful.
Like I say, it really gave me a grounding in not just what was Christianity, but what it meant to live Christianity. And that doesn't stop at the end of 10 weeks. That goes on with you. And it gets bigger, and it gets better, and it's just a wonderful way to lead your life.
There are always talks that are of more or less interest to different guests, and there are small groups that gel faster or more completely than others. There are people who come wanting definite answers to their questions, and those definite answers aren't always to be had. But I come back to all the fabulous things about Alpha. Even with its imperfections, it is among all of the programs that I've participated in and observed over my several decades now as a Christian. It is the one that I would most heartily recommend to anybody who's interested in exploring the big questions of life.